Hello, welcome to the channel. Today I've got my Silvertone Fretless that I converted to a fretless. There's not really a time frame of when I did this exactly. So what I did, first of all, I got this bass in the year, well, let's say I was 16 years old. My mom actually bought it for me. I convinced her to get it for me because I said, hey, I want to play bass. And I kept hounding her, and she eventually caved and got me this. It was, I want to say, it was about a little over $100. So it's a P-bass style, P-bass pickups. It had a black pick guard. Actually, it still does. What I did was I spray painted this just a few weeks ago. So the first thing I did with this bass guitar, as you know, frets can be really annoying on cheap guitars, where they can. This one was pretty bad, especially down here. It would cut my hand up because the frets stuck out so far out. What they do is they don't file them down as well because they're cheap guitars. They're cheap instruments, and then especially here in Utah, the wood dries out so bad that it shrinks. All the moisture gets sucked out of it, so it was even worse than that. So what I ended up doing, I bought another bass guitar a few years later, and this one I was like, I'm gonna take off these frets because Jeff Ament from Pearl Jam has a fretless, and I wanna play a fretless. So silly me, what I did was I grabbed, I think it was a butter knife, some sort of a knife from the kitchen, and I just went to the edges and pulled them off. So as you can see in the pictures, that's why there's some markings on kind of the edges of them where the wood came off. Stupid me. So it was like that. I left the frets off for quite a number of years, put this bass aside, got other basses, got my jazz bass, got a Thunderbird, got the Stingray now, and this just became a crappy bass. It got even crappier. So it just sat around doing nothing. One of the tuning pegs came off. The strap knobs came off. I ended up putting this one on from another guitar that I replaced the knobs to. I still need to put one here. So it sat like that until just recently. Every time I moved, I would take it with me, just keep it in the closet, whatever. It's been in my closet here for years. So what I decided to do, I'm like, let's turn this into a real fretless. So what I did was I changed out first the potentiometers because they were so dirty, dusty. They stopped working. I could still play the guitar with the old pots, but it was so scratchy and finicky that I decided, let's replace them with these pots. So I got these pots pretty cheap on Amazon. They didn't come from China, but they're pretty nice quality. They're bigger potentiometers. They're the 500 ohms, 500K ohms potentiometers. So I waited for those. While I waited for that, I decided, hey, I looked up YouTube videos on how to fill in the wood in converting into a fretless bass. And what they did was they grabbed some thin veneer, I think is what it's called, pieces of wood. Some did maple, some did rosewood, and they just fit them into the slots. They cut them out, sanded them down, and then that was it. I mean, that is a great way to do it. I did not do that because I just decided to be lazy and do something that I thought might work, and it ended up, yes, it did work, is I used the wood filler. I have a video of me using wood filler, so I decided, hey, why don't we just put wood filler in each of these slots? So I did that. Each one, smoothed it down, let it dry, and then I put a finish over the rosewood. The rosewood fretboard. Well, it's not a fretboard now, it's a fingerboard. So I sanded down the fingerboard, to even out all the imperfections in it. So I did use the bass. I did use this bass guitar with round wounds, which ended up leaving some indentations of those strings in the fingerboard. Once I sanded it down with sandpaper, I was able to get it nice and smooth and looking good. I put some rosewood oil over it, let it dry. After that, I put a finish over it, clear gloss finish. It looked nice and shiny. I smoothed that down so it doesn't look as shiny now, but it's still on there to give it somewhat of a protection. And then I bought these flat wound bass strings from Ernie Ball. So I bought these strings, put them on. I do want to get new tuners. Okay, I do want to get new pickups, but you know, not yet. I'm gonna see how it sounds with this. I mean, I've already played on it, but it's sounding pretty good. You know, if I later decide I want to do more fretless stuff, I'm gonna upgrade the pickups. So the output jack as well, I replaced that with a nice output jack. It's a full contact output jack, I think is what it's called. Yeah, you'll see the video or the pictures. You can see the pictures that I'm linking. So for the pick guard, I wanted to go with a white color. So I searched everywhere, pretty much online, looking up pick guards, and I thought I was gonna get one from Amazon, but I luckily realized, hey, what if it doesn't fit? None of the dimensions. I drew out diagrams with the dimensions to see which ones would fit. Nothing. I measured this all out. Nothing I looked for was a different pick guard. I even wanted to get a black one. I was like, I don't care what color it is at this point. I just want to get a brand new pick guard, because as you can see right here, years ago it snapped off one time. I don't remember how. It just did. So I got this spray paint, spray painted it, and to my surprise, look how nice it looks. I mean, it's not the best. There's some scratch marks here from using a pick for all those many years that I've used this, but to me, this looks really good. I was surprised. Yeah, if you want to spray paint for some reason anything plastic, a pick guard, use this spray can from Home Depot. Now let's hear what it sounds like. So this is the original thumb rest, actually. This is the original thumb rest. I lost the screws years ago because I took it off because I wanted to do slap bass. I thought it got in the way. Yada yada yada. I've had this laying around forever. I had to get some random screws that I've got from my toolbox, and they fit. Wonderful. Great. Let's hear what it sounds like. right, obviously I need some work on my fretless bass playing, but this is the first time I've got these flat wounds. Never had flat wounds before. Feel nice. I don't think it's gonna scratch up the fingerboard. I'm gonna do some Pearl Jam bass lessons off of 10, off versus anything that's fretless sounding. Anyway, I really like having a fretless now. Get to mess around on it. And yeah, definitely I think I'm gonna need some new pickups, especially if I want to record anything. But yeah, the pickups might need an upgrade, the bridge and the tuning pegs. Please like and subscribe. Check out all my playlists, please. I have different categories. I have bass lessons, I've got some covers, I'm putting up some original stuff. And yeah, just check it out. Click on the playlists, and I'll see you guys next time.